So when we're looking at customary measurement, we're going to talk about that first. When I say customary measurement, what does customary mean? With your hands up, please. Anybody know what customary measurement means? Yeah? Okay, the measurement that we use. Expand on that, Miles.
A custom measurement.
That's very good guess, but a custom measurement would not be the right thing. Wolfie, what were you going to add? The opposite of metric. That's actually a really good definition in my head. But Connor said what we use. Who is we? The U.S. uses. Good. Metric is what the rest of the world uses. We use customary. Good. So when I think about customary length, what units would be examples of customary units? Yes. Riley. Feet. What's another one? Yep.
Meters.
Not meters. You went to metric land on me. Meters are for a couple of days from now. Yes.
Kilometers.
Nope. That's also metric. Kilometers are metric. Yep.
Miles.
Miles. Isaac.
Inches.
Inches. Good.
Yards.
Yards. Yes.
Centimeters.
Centimeters is metric. Wrong one. You went to metric land on me. Elliot?
Are we doing liquid or is it just
I'm doing length. Yeah.
kilometers?
Kilometers is metric. Stay away from that. We already hit that. Yep. Good. I'm going to go ahead and just write them out. We've got, these are your options. Inches, tiny. Feet, a little bit bigger. Yards. 1 yard is 3 feet. And then what's the biggest one? I didn't hear it. Miles. Okay, I heard a lot of kilometers, meters. If it ends in meter, it's metric. Okay? M for metric, meter, metric. Remember it that way. Okay? So length, inches, feet, yards, miles. And then we have capacity. When I say capacity, what do you think of? Jenny?
Something that's full.
Something that's full. Yes.
The weight
The what?
like the weight of something. Like I think
Not weight. It's not weight, but you're on the right path. AJ.
how much something something can hold.
How much something can hold? What do you think of, Miles?
Fluid ounce.
Fluid ounces, okay?
The area or the volume.
Volume. Good. Y'all all got a lot of good ideas. When we do capacity tomorrow for customary, we measure capacity in gallons, quarts, pints, cups, and fluid ounces. When we switch over to metric, we're going to be measuring in different types of liters, milliliters, and so on. That's metric. The only customary measurement units we're going to use for capacity are gallons, quarts, pints, cups, and fluid ounces. Got it? And then our last one is weight. What are some units for weight that we use here in the USA? Avery? Pounds. Good. Somebody different. Wolfie? I'm sorry? Tons. Good.
Gallons.
No, gallons can be capacity.
Ounces.
Ounces. Good. So weight is tons, big, pounds, and ounces. So these are the ones we're going to be focusing on this week, and then we're going to jump into metric and just do that for a couple of days.
Isn't there a metric ton? Metric.
We're going to get to metric in a couple of days. So the other thing we're going to talk about is what the appropriate tool is for measuring different things. If I want to measure how far it is from the school to my house, what tool, not What am I going to measure in? Not what's up on the board. Think what tool I would use. Connor?
Miles.
Okay, not unit, tool.
Length.
Not length. What tool? How will I measure it? Sophia?
Yardstick.
I'm sorry?
Yardstick.
If I take a yardstick and lay it on the ground and move it every 3 feet from here to my house, I'm going to have a very boring day. Yep. I'm sorry?
Rangefinder.
Nope.
Map.
Miles?
The thing on your car, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it starts with an O. What is it?
Odometer. Odometer.
Good. So when we're talking about long distance measurement, for long distance measurement, you're going to have to know what tool to use. If I use a ruler to measure from here to my house, it's not going to be accurate, and I'm not going to have a very good day. An odometer, which is in everybody's car. When you get in your parents' car later, ask them to point out where it is. An odometer in a car could measure from school to my house. Perfect tool for the job. And what unit would I use? Inches, feet, yards, or miles? Miles. That makes the most sense. I want to use the biggest unit for the job. What if I wanted to measure how long the field was up on our field where y'all play? Would miles work for the field? No. So what I'm going to have to... Yards would be appropriate, but what tool would I be able to use? What tool would be the best to use, Max? Do I really want to use a yardstick all the way across? I could do it, but it would take a while. There's something more appropriate we've talked about before. Caden? It's not a rangefinder yet. Connor? Elliot, did you have an idea? No. Not a tape measure.
I've seen these things where it's kind of like a vacuum, and it's like a wheel that measures.
It's a wheel that measures. Does anybody know the name of the wheel that measures?
The wheel that measures. The wheel. What's the name?
The meat measure.
Truck.
Trundle.
The ultimate wheel measure.
So a trundle wheel would be more appropriate for measuring a field. It's got like a handle and then has a wheel, and I've got one in the teacher closet, and we're going to take it out and use it so you guys have practice. And then it'll have like a little box here that'll click, and it will measure in feet or yard. So the field would be a great thing to measure. I'd probably measure in yards, but it also has feet, which we can do easy conversions. If you measure land, if you're buying property and you want to measure land, this is going to be the thing. Every person that deals with real estate and land real estate or surveys has one of these in their house, in their truck or their car. Are we good on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about like what the appropriate tool is for the job. If I have a bathtub or a pond or something big with water in it, would I use a ruler?
You probably want to screw that.
Here. I'll do a pond, and we'll even put a little duck in. Okay, so let's say it's a little pond. I have a little pond and I have a duck in my pond. If I want to measure how much water is in a pond that I make in my backyard so I can figure out how much water I'm going to have to fill it up. Would I want to use a cup? No. With your hand up, what would be the most appropriate thing for doing something like a pond? Jason? A gallon. Good. So you want to make sure you're pulling out the right tool, because if I take something like a measuring cup and try to fill up that pond, is it going to be a waste of my day?
Yes.
Yeah. If I want to take the weight of Reagan when he goes to the doctor, are we going to want to do anything in tons? No. When he gets on the little scale and has to be still, and they get his weight on the little box up at the top, what are they looking for when they get his weight? Pounds and ounces. So pounds and ounces are how we measure for weight. And you guys have all had this done. When I do it, it's not as much fun. You guys don't seem to care what comes up there, but usually when I step on it, I'm like, ah. When you have a new baby in your family, raise your hand if you've seen a baby, like birth announcement or something like that from a relative. They almost always, good, lots of you have, they put the date the kid was born, they put their name, a cute little picture, and they often put what? How much the baby weighed. I can tell you all three of my kids' weight. Haley was 7'10", Mason was 7 even, and Reagan was 7'6". 7 pounds 6 ounces, 7 pounds 0 ounces, 7 pounds 10 ounces. They were all like exactly the same kind of kid. So when you have kids one day, or you have like new nephews and nieces or siblings, they always make a big deal because they always like put it on all the announcement stuff. Yes.
When I was like 5 years old, I did Build-A-Bear workshop, and they would give me the certificate, and they was like, it weighs 1 pound.
That's cute. Okay, we got to go on because I got to do the practice, and hopefully we have time for the quizzes I want to do today. So that's kind of the intro to what we're doing. Now you got to learn how to do the actual conversion. If you're familiar with what you did in previous years, it's going to be really, really easy, but I've got a way to help you remember what to do, because on this one here, I have kids multiply when they're supposed to divide and divide when they're supposed to multiply. So I'm giving you here all the conversion pieces you need.
You will probably need to know these for a test that will come later on. I have a feeling. Since I was in 5th grade last year.
And we give you guys this information.
I came and helped up here as well last year.
So when we're converting links, I've already kind of taught this to you guys on our warm-ups and stuff. There's a little saying that you can do to help you remember if you're multiplying or dividing. If you're going big to small, we multiply all. Small to big.
Divide the pig.
Good. Small to big, we divide the pig. Okay? I'm going to show you the steps I want you to take. I'm going to show you the steps I want you to take, and I want you to practice doing some of these with me, and then you're going to be doing them on your own. So on this one here, if I go from 12 yards to feet, what's bigger, a yard or a foot? I'm going to circle my big. Am I going big to small or small to big?
Big to small.
So if I do big to small, I multiply. How many feet are in a yard? 3. I'm doing 12 times 3, which is 36, and I'm done. Let's say I've got 240 inches, and I want to change them to feet. What's bigger, a foot or an inch?
A foot.
I'm going to circle my big. I'm going small to big, so I divide. There's 12 inches in a foot, so I'm dividing by 12. 240 divided by 12 is 20, and I'm done. Pretty simple. The practice we're about to do threw some kids off because we got to questions that said this. And kids told me that they didn't know what to do. If you have something like this where they switch it around, rewrite it where what you have is in front and what you want is second. If you rewrite it like this and do the same steps, what's bigger?
Feet.
Feet. Am I going big to small or small to big?
Big to small.
Big to small, we multiply all. I'm just multiplying times 12 to get 120. So if they write it this way, just rewrite it with a blank second. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yes, question.
Bet you we're having a test about this. Are we gonna have like the thing where it like helps us with like our measurements?
I'll put the star chart up for the test, but by next week you will have practiced it so many times you will remember. The other thing that we do are comparisons, and sometimes you're going to have something like 3,612 yards and 2 miles. With the comparison where you've got to do greater than, less than, or equal to, look for your big. What's bigger, a yard or a mile?
Miles.
So I'm going to change miles to yards because I know kids, would y'all rather multiply or divide? Multiply. It says 9 out of 10 kids. So I know there's how many yards in a mile because it's at the top of our page. 1,760. So I'm doing 1,760 times 2. And I get 3,520. Do you see how close they are? When I was working with my group this morning, there were some that were within 8 feet of the same thing. And I had some kids that were trying to decide it, like not convert and just putting in the signs. You can't do that. You need to convert and then put in the sign. Does that make sense?